Good evening, good evening. This is Anthony F. ArianAndroid.com. And here we're going to discuss platforms tonight. Mobile platforms. Which ones do you like? Which ones do you use most often? Which ones are integrated into your life so that you really don't have a choice once you are fully integrated? So I apologize for the background. It's black. I wanted to focus on the software, not the hardware. So here we're with our first device here, and if you don't notice it, it's understandable. It is the new Blackberry Z10, and this device has been changed from the ground up to compete with the software and applications of today. So here, this is actually the home screen here. It shows all the apps that you were at last that are still active. It took a while to figure out how to use this device because BlackBerry was forced to change everything. So even the swipes and the gestures mean something different than your normal use of a touchscreen phone. They really had to change the game. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Question is, will this be enough to make people go back to BlackBerry? Those that are already still with BlackBerry, they will probably migrate on over. If they have been with BlackBerry for a while, they already know they're not missing anything, not really into any multimedia, even though these have the standard social apps on here. It has YouTube for multimedia, as well as Foursquare, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, the four standard social apps. Then it has the BlackBerry World, which, I really wasn't fond of when I had a BlackBerry. The apps in there were kind of expensive because they thought, they were business, so you have a business tag, but they weren't really well made. And I don't know if it's because of the developers being really shoddy and fast to throw something out there, or if it was because the program itself, RIM's program itself at that time just wasn't ready for the apps that people were making. So now they are ready. Let's go to Twitter here. And now the apps act across the board as all the other apps should act. Twitter kind of acts okay. Believe it or not, you don't get what you would think you would get, and that's cool. That swiping feature. Android doesn't have that, I don't believe, that swipes like that. A little bit different. So let's see if we can quickly go to something. My only issue with the Twitter app on the BlackBerry is that it does not show the pictures. It does not show pictures. So let's see if I can find an Instagram picture real quick. Alright, Aim Pruitt here, he throws an Instagram picture, and I don't see it. So let's go to something different. Let's go, yes, the back button there. Let's see if I can find a picture that was uploaded straight from Twitter. So we go there and quickly scroll through here for a twit pic here. Oh, Vine. Wow, let's see if Vine shows us anything. Vine should be built in. Yep. And we lost it. Where'd it go? Vine. So on Android, on iOS, the Vine video will show up. It's not showing up there. So Twitter has not fully integrated into BlackBerry. That tells you some things. Maybe they're doing a wait and see thing. Maybe they're just not really thinking it's going to happen. They're really into it. So here we are on Samsung's homepage, and in here, in the link, I don't know if you can see it, it says TwitPic. So usually there will be a picture embedded in line, and it's not in the Twitter card. So it looks like Twitter isn't really on board with BlackBerry yet, but hopefully it'll be soon. So BlackBerry, besides that, has its normal security, rich features. It's trying to do multimedia. You can give it a B+ for effort. So that's BlackBerry. Now what about Windows 8? So Windows 8 is kind of in the same boat That's BlackBerry, and that is really trying to play catch up to Android and iOS. So it's trying to make things that are super different than before. So here's Windows here with the Windows tile, Windows 8. This is the Lumia phone here, the 810, I believe. So Microsoft has its own platform, its own integration where it uses, for the most part, Xbox. So if you have an Xbox, then you are good to go. If that's what you already roll with, it will work. You can also get apps, Nokia Music, Slacker Radio. Kind of, that's the third-party apps too. It plays nicely with everybody. But its main sell is Xbox. If you don't have Xbox, then yeah, this isn't really that fun. Does this even really have the powerful tools that you would think you need to work, because it is a Microsoft phone? Not yet. They kind of dumbed it down to compete with iOS, and eventually they will add more things to it. I was just talking to the Microsoft PR guy on Twitter, I forget his name, and this phone had a huge update to it. So he was saying it was like a 8.0.1 or something. Not 8.1, but like a subset of 8, just the latest one. So that's possible. But like I said, for the most part, to enjoy a Microsoft phone, you have to be in that environment. So, natives are getting restless. So what about Android? So of course I'm a little bit partial to Android because I use the Android platform. I'm quite familiar with it. So, alright, this is the Facebook homepage. New home thing. Let's get it. Okay, so Android is very flexible, as we know. You can change everything from the launcher to the data that's being shown on your home page. This is the data that I've chosen. The notifications are great and fast. The apps are free and paid for. Both of them are equally powerful. You don't need software to be tied down to it. With Windows, you need to have Xbox to really get anything out of it. You can use Google Music here, if that's how you go. Or you can use Amazon Music. Or you can just copy your music over like it's a USB flash drive. It gives you choices. Choices are always good on a mobile phone because you gotta be fast, you gotta be flexible, you have to be nimble. Right now, Android seems to be the most nimble platform. Even if you are familiar with Android mobile, you can still use a Mac, still use a Windows device, a desktop to do what you gotta do. Whereas with Apple, if you have an iPhone, you want to transfer music over, you need iTunes, which means you really can't have Linux. Well, with the Android, it doesn't matter. You can use Linux to get what you gotta do. With Windows Phone, you can do the same thing. You can do that flash drive mode, so you can still survive. And I'm not sure, but I'm hoping you can transfer files and music over from there just like that. With BlackBerry, it's still kind of new, so I'm not sure what BlackBerry can and cannot do yet when it comes to transferring files and things like that. But if they want to be nimble, they better add some drivers to it so that you can use this from Linux. So that's just a quick test look at all the different platforms, the most popular platforms, of course, that are out. Let me know what you think about it. Anthony F. RUnandroid.com. Mobile Tech Heat.